and welcome to View from Bio, a special coverage of Bio Convention in Philadelphia. This year we are talking to representatives from up-and-coming biotech clusters about their FDA potential, and time for an expert to give us a broad perspective on what places are most interesting for biotech investments. I'm here with Matthew Hudes, Biopharma segment leader at Deloitte. Matthew, thank you for finding time. And any interesting findings here at Bio so far?
Yeah, I think it's fascinating how bio really pulls the best of the world together under one roof. And so we're seeing, I was on the floor earlier and I just saw some really fascinating things in terms of capabilities that are now available to anyone who wants to access them.
Mm-hmm. What do you think is the most interesting and promising in the world of biopharma right now in terms of locations for investments?
Well, I think the era of the large bio cluster is kind of over. So what I see now is specialization in the value chain of biopharma. Mm-hmm. So that we now are seeing places that are becoming terrific at doing clinical trials in a particular therapeutic area, or great at doing medicinal chemistry, or great at doing manufacturing of certain kinds of products. Mm-hmm. So it's no longer one kind of perfect large bio cluster that's emerging. It's the emergence of specialization in the value chain.
And any particular emerging stars within that landscape?
Sure. So I think we're starting to see the science come out of the academic setting very effectively. And maybe in a few minutes I'll share with you sort of my model of what elements it takes to have the most successful life science cluster. But some things that I've seen recently in China are really fantastic, and I think some of the reasons for that is not just the great science that's going on there, but also the need. The aging population in China is increasing more rapidly, and so the demands on high quality and lower cost healthcare is really driving a lot of areas of invention in the area of clinical trials, in the area of biosimilars, and a number of other things. So I'm very, very interested in that. I think that the other area that I'm seeing is the emergence of really digital health. So digital health meaning including social and mobile technologies, wearable, implantable, the data that comes off of all of those, the data analytics. And so I think that there are some places around the world that previously had great capability in the financial services sector, for instance, that developed that, and now they're applying that to life sciences. So,
like for example, any examples of locations?
So I think in Europe, in Belgium, and in Luxembourg, in France, and I think in Asia, we're seeing that in places that have been associated with the tech industry, so Taiwan and Singapore and some other places that have had that capability that served other industries but now are serving life sciences.
Mm-hmm. Understood. Now, I've seen a couple of representatives from Africa. Is Africa an interesting place for biotech investments? Is that something of focus as well?
I think it's a little early for investments of a financial nature. However, there's opportunities to learn about public health there, and there's also opportunities for the non-therapeutic side of biotechnology, basically the food and the energy side as well.
And for the final question, a big question, you mentioned you'll tell us the secret recipe, what makes a biotech cluster a successful one. What is it?
Okay, so it is the balance of 4 elements. And it isn't just having the elements, but having them in balance that's really critical. The first one is science, and of course, it's not just great science. It's science that can flow outside of the university into the private sector where it can get developed into a medicine. The second critical element are investors that know how to take risk. So it isn't just about having money to invest, it's having money to invest in a way that will support advances and will take some risk that's associated with biopharma development. The third is entrepreneurial skills and facilities to improve those skills and to practice. So incubators, accelerators, other kinds of facilities that make it easy to start a company, particularly if you're coming out of an academic setting. And then the fourth one is a little surprising. We found this after we had looked at a number of clusters repeatedly, and it's actually the presence of the customer being the large biopharma. So some element of the large pharmaceutical firm that is seeking external innovation, whether it's the business development people, the venture capital people, or some of the scientists, having a presence. And as I said earlier, it isn't having an overwhelming amount of any of those elements, it's having the balance between them, having enough cash and investors to fund the science, having enough facilities to allow those to take place, and having the customers there to validate it.
Matthew, thank you very much for finding time, and enjoy the rest of your bio.